Hi everybody, welcome to day 4 of our class, and I'm very excited. We're doing a practical a homemade peach cobbler jam. You will need 6 cups of sugar, 6 tablespoons of pectin, a half a teaspoon of allspice, a half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1 tablespoon of butter. You will need vinegar for your rims, 8 fruit cups of diced peaches, and you will need 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. And you'll also need half pint jars, and I'm going to use my 4 jars lids, of course. And I have my ball grabber to grab my jars out of the canner, and also a potato masher to mash up my my peaches. What I want everybody to do when they do their practical, I'll put a comment that says practical in this video, and you'll just reply to it with your video so we can check out what you made. So I'm going to use my 4 jars towel to clean off my rims, and I have the regular mouth 4 jars lids. I do have that in my showcase. You can check them out. You don't have to buy it from my showcase. You can even go to their website and purchase from them. They have really good products. We are going to sanitize our lids, our rings, and our jars. Let it get to a simmering boil for about 10 minutes before you take them out and let them sit to the side. Initially, when we start, we're going to take our 8 peach cups with the juice included and add them to our pot. Have your pot on medium heat as you're doing this process. And the first thing you're going to add in is your pectin. I did 3 tablespoons at a time. So I would add 3 tablespoons, and then I would mix up my mixture. And then I would add the last 3 tablespoons and mix everything up. I let it cook just for a little bit, and after I added in all of my pectin is when I went ahead and I added in my 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. So what I did with my lemon juice, I did not measure out the 2 tablespoons. I just kind of freehanded it. When you're adding in this pectin, please make sure you get all of the lumps out, because it will turn into little gel balls in there, and that's not what you want. You mix in your lemon juice really good, and you add in your tablespoon of butter. The butter helps prevent it from foaming up so much, and you don't want all that foam on the top of your jam when you make it. Next is when I'm going to add in a half a teaspoon of allspice and a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. Remember, in this case, less is more, because you don't want to add too much, because you cannot take all of that spice out, but you can always add more to it. When you taste your product, if you feel like you want more spice to it, I would say add a quarter of a teaspoon. I wouldn't even add another half. Add a quarter of a teaspoon and taste it and see how it tastes from there. As you can see with that allspice, it changes the color of it. And we're going to mix our peaches and we're going to mash them. That's what makes it a jam. Jams have mashed fruit. So we're going to mash this up really good. And that's releasing the natural pectin in the fruit. And at this point, we're going to add our 6 cups of sugar. The way I measured out my sugar was I took 1 quart and 1 full pint. So I put all of that sugar in and I mixed everything up really well. And I made sure that it was mixed in good, because again, you don't want any clumps or lumps in there. After everything had mixed up together well, I let it come to like a simmering boil. I went back and I checked on my jars and my rings and my my lids. And after about that simmering for 10 minutes, I took it out of the canner and I set it to the side. So as you can see here, I came back to check on my mixture to see where it was. It really wasn't at a boil yet. Once it got to that full simmering boil that I wanted it to be, as you can see, it's trying to get like a little jelly skin on top. So I did mix that up because I wanted to finish processing a little longer. If you would like more peaches in this, I would say add some more fruit cups, but don't add the liquid, just add more peaches. You can make this recipe with fresh peaches or the canned peaches, whichever you would prefer. I wanted to create something that was easily accessible, something that you would already have in your kitchen. I'm going to start loading up my jars now. And as I load up my jars, you'll see that the liquid from the jam recipe starts to stick on my funnel. And that's showing me already right there that this jam is going to gel up the way I want it to. When you add So it was already in a state of gelling up. I do want to say that those 6 tablespoons of pectin equal a 1.75 box of pectin. Sorry guys if you hear my daughter in the background. So if you only have the powdered pectin, just, and it's not in that box of the pectin. I think it's like just sure gel pectin. I did not use a liquid pectin with this either. I haven't tested that method. I haven't tested the method of using the sure gel liquid. I only used the powder because I've never really had success with that liquid. But I did want to show how it's getting that glaze over top, so it's already trying to set before I even get it into the counter for processing. And I know that there's going to be a little bit of that gel on the rims because it's already setting up in that jar. So I started to clean my rims off with the vinegar. And as you can see, as I thought, there's a little bit of gel there. So make sure you clean those rims off really good. And I wanted to just show how it's getting gelled up already. So you don't have to worry about this setting up for you. It will set the same day. I put my rings and my lids on everything on fingertip tight, and I loaded up my canner. Remember, hot canner, hot foods, cold canner. I allowed this to process in a hot water bath for 15 minutes. My 15 minutes did not start until it got to a rolling boil. So once you're at a rolling boil, set that timer for that 15 minutes. Once your 15 minutes of processing time is up, turn your canner off, and I remove it off of my eye because I have a Samsung Smart Stove. So sometimes that eye can still hold a lot of heat. After my 15 minutes, I was able to take my jars out, and I have a beautiful finished product. I noticed that once it sat for that additional 10 minutes, all of my jars were sealed when I took them out of the canner. So I didn't have to worry about them sealing. I just had to let them cool down. And the next day I went through and I washed all of my jars off to make sure I didn't have any extra residue on them, because we do have hard water, and I don't use vinegar in my canner because it can make your rings begin to start to rust, and I don't want my rings rusting. So allow this to sit on your counter for 12 to 24 hours. And when you come back to it the next day, remember to wash your jars. That's very important, to wash your jars. This is the finished product. It's a beautiful amber color. And again, this jelly tastes just like peach cobbler filling. I'm showing you that it's set the same day, and my lids are done. Thank you.